Okay, looks like we're rolling. Hey everybody. Uh so I'm making this video. I've been posting some stuff lately about like the fourth and the fifth dimension. First off, before I even get into everything, I'm Damien. For you all who don't know. Uh Also I got a book I just put out, Absolute Mind Shift. Go cop my book off of Amazon. Just look up Absolute Mind Shift. Um that book is on something completely different. That book is just recognizing our power as a creator and getting in the zone of streamlining our thoughts to just get in tune with that creative power that we have. You know. Now, what I'm going into today is some things I've been like in the zone for a while. Uh, it's like spiritual things. And like I always tell people, I'm on a journey, and that's I kind of live my life like an experiment, and of information. And lately, I've been going through like this. I've been experiencing things that just you can't put a coincidence on them. You can't put like just it's not random. For a while, I've been experiencing things. I was seeing numbers and stuff for a long time, and angels talking to me and auras and all of this. Now, like I recently, I went on a long walk, and I got messages from an angel talking to me. And these messages kind of told me about a new world. Told me about a new world where all the things that we learn to value, all the things we put precedence on, they uh they won't matter as much. They won't be significant. And Angel basically told me, look at the world from a different perspective. Look at it from the galaxy. Look at it from the cosmos. He basically our thinking is so small, and no matter how far human intellect can reach, we will never be able to have an understanding of the full spectrum until we let go of the small little details and just look at a big overview. And I mean, while while he was talking to me, I mean, it was like my mind had zoomed out to space, and I was looking at the whole galaxy, and I was looking at the whole universe. Universe is, I mean, because it's really infinite. And but I mean, I only zoomed out so far, and then I zoomed back in, and I realized like, all of us we have a story to tell. All of us have like this, like I said, a journey, and we put a lot of significance on what we've been through and what we're going through, but it's so much bigger than that. I mean, us as a human race, and this is what he got me to look at us as a human race, and basically told me about a world a world where we recognize who we truly are, a world where we recognize our power and recognize just the authority we've been given as human beings. And we just kind of wither it away and tranquil it away. I don't even know if that's a word, but we kind of just what do you call it? Fondle it away, and it's basically because we fall into this deception, social deception. I mean, from the minute we born, we got about 5 seconds before we just indoctrinated with social thought and indoctrinated with the mindset of all those who came before us who were indoctrinated. So, I mean, truthfully, it's very rare when you find somebody speaking something new or speaking something original. Most people are just regurgitating something they heard somebody else say. So these days you can't even trust the words of people because more than likely it's a regurgitation and they try to own it. And I'm more like, man, did it come from your soul? Tell me if it came from your soul. I'm willing to listen. You know, um, but yeah, we born into I call it assimilation. Assimilation because you can look around, everything is someone else's vision, They had enough authority to bring their vision into the world. The world owned it, and we take it as reality. I mean, from the clothes you wear to the to where you're sitting to the house you're in. I mean, it was somebody's vision. The car you drive, and nothing wrong with that. But due to the sake of people with more powerful visions, other people who with visions stirring in their soul, they have managed to find themselves suppressed because they don't think their visions matter. I think their power to create is important, and that's what basically my first book was about. Uh, Pretty much to sum it up, creative power and being a master of your thought. Um, but we born into a world and it's a simulation. We take it as reality, and we don't know how much authority our Creator, higher power, God, whatever you want to call him, has given us, and the gift He has given us. We can't even take pride into it because we're weakened from everything around us. We're weakened from the minute we step foot in a job, when we got people with weaker weaker mindsets or insecure mindsets that try to push you down or keep you from excelling or keep mute your voice. And and it happens all around you in social groups with friends. It happens with in partnerships. I mean, in relationships. Sometimes you can get yourself in a relationship where you have someone that maybe gave up on what they got stirring in their soul or something they want to do, and they try to uh, deceive you into moving in that direction and put more priority on your relationship, which is they're holding on to by a thread because they're trying to fill a void within themselves with that relationship. So they trying to hold on to you through ownership and actually suppress you and suppress everything that you are. So I mean, just multi layers of us getting weakened, and that's what I'm saying is going on. I won't get into too much detail about that, but mainly when I was spoken to, it was about this fourth and fifth dimension, and I've been wanting to make some videos, and I'm gonna be truthful. I made some videos already, and I basically sounded like a crazy person, so I had to fall back on those videos until I could kind of, because I was kind of overwhelmed by the information. I didn't want I didn't want to put out the videos and everybody think, oh, Damon, he's losing it. No, I'm not losing it. I mean, if you know me, I've never been gun ho talking spiritually or anything like that. I am in that phase of my life, and I'm in that phase for a reason. I prayed and asked for greater truths and greater understanding. Um, but I'm not crazy, and the videos, if you would have seen them, you would have been like, "Whoa, dude, let's go ahead and put him over there with Kanye." No, Kanye, my dude, though, and that's what I'm saying. Just like people who start thinking different and start voicing that, sometimes can appear to be like they going delusional or need meds. I mean, because like just the level of where human understanding is, and may be so convicted about talking about it, but people just aren't at that level of understanding. And I see that in Kanye all the time, and it's frustrating. I can see it in his face in interviews. He's got to suppress what he really wants to talk about for what the world wants to hear or what they can understand. Um, but I was shown this world, and after I was shown this world, I started doing some research about the fourth and fifth dimension. The fourth dimension, the fourth dimension is what they call the um, astro dimension, and then there's the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is some name I don't even care what it's called. I'll call it the name I care to call it. I'll call it the higher forms plane. So to break it down, right now we're in third dimension. We call this the physical plane or the plane of physicality, where we have a body. Everything's physical. We can we can manifest physical creations by using our thoughts, and we can bring that into materializing into existence. So what in the astral plane, I'll just break down each of these. The astral plane is like more would be more considered like the plane of existence of dream. So like when you go to sleep at night, you ever have dreams, and dreams don't have no concept of time. Like dreams, like I mean, you may have dreamed yourself in the future, and you may have dreamed yourself in the past. Uh, for me, I dreamed jobs that I worked at before I even worked at them, and then I was there, and it was like this deja vu. So the astral plane is this like kind of like world of no concept of time, and space, so it's kind of like this liquid world to where the physical plane, we can only believe what we see, or that's how majority think. Like I see it when I believe it. Like as far as like even talking about like a higher power, well, how can I believe in it? I see it when I believe it. Even though there's small messages all around of this world, uh, people care not to engage in that because that's their mindset. I'll see it when I believe it because they caught in just this physical plane. But there are other dimensions, and the fourth dimension is a liquid plane to where you don't have to see it. I mean, you don't have to see it like but the fourth dimension you will I would say this: the fourth dimension we will be able to actually see these other we will be able to see the other side. So we're moving into a side to where we can see like we can see like entities and spirits, and we can see kind of the unseen. And it's a mix of this concept of no time, no space. Uh, and then you got the fifth dimension. This is the higher forms plane, and this is where like the fifth dimension is like moving into divinity. Divinity, like higher forms, higher self. Like you probably heard people talk about like the oversoul. Like you got your soul, the oversoul. The oversoul is the higher self. Uh, And the higher self is like the version of us in which consciously we're trying to reach. I mean, and this third dimension physical plane is like a what you ever been to like I've seen one of those shows where they go through like I guess those courses where they become like strong men or something. They got to go through these different courses. Like so the physical plane is like part of a long course to get to reach our higher self. And on this level of existence, in this physical plane, the whole goal is to grow into a consciousness and deeper understanding and appreciation of love, and also our creative power. So to reach those, we're here in a a battleground of learning to get control of our minds, a battleground of uh, uh, first off the mind. And the mind is taking control of your thought. If you can't do that and take control of your thought, then you will never be able to be in tune with your creative power. And us as co-creators, I say co-creators because the ultimate creator, God, or whoever you want to call him, he's the ultimate, she, mother, father, God, is the ultimate creator. And we co-creators because we have the same spirit and the same energy of him, but we have not grown to realize and to recognize who we are. We're expressions of our higher power. So we do have a co-creative power, but until we can learn to disconnect on some level into from what we see and go in and get a concept of what we feel and who we are and get control of our minds. We can't um we won't recognize our power to co-create. And that's one of the things that is important, recognizing and getting in tune with that power and going closer to the consciousness of love. And mainly because in the fourth dimension, this dimension will be liquid. And if you in a lower mind state or a lower or a lower vibration to where you're living in fear, because fear is the opposite of love, those fears will be informed in fourth dimension, and you will live a experience of suffering. So this is deep. So if you, in the fourth dimension, if you have not grown closer, first off, in the third dimension, if you have not grown close in the consciousness of love, once we enter into the fourth dimension, your fears will take precedence, and you will live in a state of torment because your fears will take real form, and with entities or weaker thoughts that you're entertaining of you will suffer from those. I can't say what you think or what you entertain, but whatever you entertain in your mind, that will be the cause of your suffering in the fourth dimension. So that's why it's so important to reach a state of love and openness without any type of selfish agenda or any of that, because that is a person that has mastered themselves, and that person will be a master in the fourth dimension, in the fifth dimension to come. So where people who putting pride in materials and all the things they see with their eyes here, those things will serve no priority because the fourth dimension will be so liquid. Whatever your mental is, wherever your mental space is, that's what you're going to experience. And all the Gucci bags and all the Lexuses and foreign cars won't do no justice if your mind's not your mind's not at a certain conscious level and you vibrating at a certain level, because wherever you at, that's the experiences that you're going to create. Like in this dimension, we have to work to create something. Like, okay, I want to create like say a book. I got to put this together, and then first I think it, then I got to put it together and I create a book. It's processes. In the fourth dimension, it's going to be as quick as a thought, and things will exist, and that will be your life. So if you have no mental control, you will experience a state of suffering. And that's why I say it's so important to do inner work right now, because we're time is moving fast, time is moving rapidly, and we're moving into a zone to where we may be experiencing fourth and fifth dimension over the next half a century. And don't hold me to that. Who knows if I even be here, but I would realistically, I'll say over the next century or so. But technological advances is what's going to push us, because AI will develop and get so smart. Um, AI develop and get so smart that it's gonna be smarter than actual human intellect, and humans are gonna be forced to dig deeper because they're gonna be so embarrassed that robots are now more smarter than them, and have more authority than them in this world. That's where artificial intelligence will go, because it's going to be programmed to keep getting smarter. And but it's only going to be smarter as what we can put into it. So if we put maximum intelligence into it, it's going to be as smart as that, but its programming will find a way to be a bit smarter too. But the thing that robots won't have is consciousness, soul consciousness. So we're going to be forced to dig into our own consciousness once this whole AI revolution comes about over in the future here. So ultimately, we're going to be forced to address the spiritual side of ourselves if we want to or not, as a human race. And as much as like we're in a state to disown it and say, hey, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in it. Hey, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. The course of history will clearly show you. If you haven't been getting the messages or sending signs, it will clearly show you what's real and what's not real. And all I've been trying to say to people is like, man, it's cool to live in this plane and indulge and be present. That's totally fine. But it's time to start digging inside yourself, looking internally, and looking back at who you are. Because you may think you're somebody, but it's a part of you that's maybe in conflict with what the somebody you think you are. And every day you living in conflict and you don't know what's going on. The whole world is it's like almost confrontational for you. And you're just in this state of emptiness, and you probably got a good job, you probably got a nice house, you probably got a a sweet little family. You got all of those things, but you still feel like this state of something's not right, or you're not yourself. I'm not myself. It's time to start look inside yourself and do some work. And it may take years of work. Like I've been reading and studying for for years. I mean, I was reading on like business stuff way before, but like I got in the zone of like digging into like more spiritual things and stuff of that nature. And it's I mean it's ongoing. And nobody probably will reach in any state of perfection or any perfect state of knowledge. But the whole goal is to keep growing. But if you feeling that type of conflict in your life, like, man, take the time to dig inside yourself. And it may be to your biggest benefit because your soul is stirring and trying to tell you who you are. And uh, God may be preparing you. God may be preparing you for whatever's to come. And He may need you. You know, like for His warriors, He will make sure you feel in a state of disconnect and conflict ongoing. You can get a brand new Lamborghini, but you will still feel conflicted and not at rest. Everybody could be clapping about yourself, about what you did, celebrating you, but you still feel like there's something missing. That means it's time to look in, and that means that God probably got a position or a spot for you, and you won't be at rest until you dig into it, find out what it is, and start moving more into your spirituality of yourself. And like I just made this video. It's been on my mind. It's been on my heart. There's a lot more I could say. I probably could talk a whole hour about everything. If anybody like got questions or something, or even like got a different point of view on what I'm saying, like drop a comment. Uh, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. But I won't. I don't want to go too deep because there's so much I can talk about. Um, but ultimately, with the world moving into this fifth dimension, like I said, think about the third dimension as a cube. Then imagine what the fourth dimension could be. Then imagine what the fifth dimension could be. We know what 2D is. 2D is like we used to play 2D games on Atari. Do 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 do. 1D is way more simpler. So all these dimensions of you know more depth, um, folding time where time is not, doesn't matter. Time time is not measurable no more. I mean, we can only imagine, and I'm just basing it off of what I seen, uh, and all I seen was us as a people, and I seen a beautiful race of people, a race of people once they recognized who they truly were, and were not no longer deceived by, and the deception comes from just falling into the social, cultural narrative that we see in front of us and not looking within. And I seen a human race of people that was so great, so beautiful. I mean, living in a world that just, I mean, I can't say perfection, but just bliss. And this can only happen when people as a whole, us as a whole race, moving towards a deeper consciousness, towards love, and eliminate the fear, love and truth. Because to create the world that I've seen, there can be no falsehood. There can be no lower level emotions. People will have to escape their fears in them. They will have to move closer to the truth, and they will have to glow more complete in love, not the love we've been taught. A whole new type of love, unselfish love, an unconditional love. I mean, and that's the word I see. And once we actually reach there, man, we will see everything that we want, we can have. But it's our mental state of scarcity and being scared Scared I might not find the right person, or scared I might not get the right job, or scared of this, or scared of that, that blocks us from the greatest gift God's given us. And He's given us quite the free will. And this is what's taking us so long to reach this level of consciousness, because we're going through many methods of finding what's the right way. But ultimately, we will get there. And ultimately, there are things that are happening that will force us to move there. But I just seen a beautiful world, and what I seen, I wish I could just put it in everybody's head, and so we you can really understand what this is really about. So that's all I have to say. This video went way longer than I wanted to, um, but yeah, holla at me.